And welcome to the Marcus and Mike Show, guys. I am Mike. My man over here to the left is Marcus. Marcus, how you doing today, man?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good.
It's another day closer to the NFL football season, but we got to talk a little bit of NCAA football. Some Heisman odds are starting to surface alike a little bit here. Some of the front runners are starting to emerge like a little bit here early in the season. You obviously have Tua from
Yeah.
Alabama, Trevor Lawrence from Clemson, Jalen Hurts transferred from Alabama to Oklahoma, and then Justin Fields to round out the top four. There were 10 players listed in this. The other couple here are Adrian Martinez,
Yeah.
quarterback from Nebraska, Jake Fromm, quarterback from Georgia, the Texas quarterback Sam Ehlinger, DeAndre Swift, the running back from Georgia, Travis Eaton, running back from Clemson, and then Jonathan Taylor, the running back from Wisconsin. Out of those 10 players, who do you foresee winning the Heisman Trophy this season?
That's a pretty good list. Out of those running backs, I see Taylor from Wisconsin emerging as the best running back. Out of those running backs, it's interesting. I don't think they didn't even mention on that list is Justin Herbert, from the quarterback of Oregon, who's going to be who's a heck of a player there, 6'6", 220 pounds, big kid.
Yep.
Man, Sam Ehlinger, I think has a really good shot at it from UT, and it's going to be
That's your
interesting to
boy.
see how. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Tua Tagovailoa, quarterback Alabama, how he bounces back from that butt kicking he got. See how the whole Alabama team responds, and see how Tua responds from Clemson kicking his butt. About 7 months ago or 8 months ago, however long. Man, football season is just too long, man. Whoever complains about the football season, shut up, man. No, seriously, it's 4 months, man. There's 8 months of no football, man. It's
horrible.
You go through withdrawals. You're like,
Yeah.
oh God, man, when is this? It's man, especially college football, when college football ends, man, it's 8 months.
Right.
It's 9 months because end of August.
Yeah,
man.
Me and my wife make queso every Sunday morning for the NFL season.
Yeah,
and our cheese shelf is getting pretty high with all that Velveeta getting ready
right.
to get eaten. It needs to roll around faster.
Yeah, I mean, it only lasts. I tell people all the time, it only lasts 4 months, and it'll last 5 if your team, is fortunate enough to make the playoffs. It'll last 4.5 if they make a playoff game. That's pretty cool. But it's usually 4 months, man. Short and sweet, man. But listen, those names are pretty good. I can't wait. I can't wait to see how Trevor Lawrence is in his sophomore year. See if he has a sophomore slump, or see if he's even better. Clemson quarterback. I think he'll be pretty good. Man, I hate to be a homer. I like Sam Ehlinger. Listen, there's another couple of names on that you didn't mention on that list, but it's not your fault. It's just what they didn't mention. There's a little tiny quarterback named King. For the Houston quarterback, King, he's a heck of a quarterback, man. Kellen Mond at A&M. I think it's I don't know why I'm forgetting his first name. The Houston quarterback, King, Drew King or something like that. But, man, he's a heck of a talent, too, at quarterback. I don't think he'll play quarterback at the next level. I think he'd play more wide receiver. But, he's still a quarterback in college, and, he's a really good quarterback in college. It's hard to pick a front runner now. I like all the names you just mentioned, but if I had to pick one, gun to my head, I probably would pick Sam Ehlinger, man. You're talking about a dual threat who's almost like a running back. He's a tank, and plus he's got an arm. If he gets a little bit better with downhill throws and a little more accuracy with his arm, he could be the best quarterback in college football, right there with Tua and Hebert and Lawrence from Clemson. So this is going to be fun to watch. I can't wait to watch it. We'll talk more about it as the season gets closer. But if I had to put gun to my head, I probably would go either Clemson quarterback Lawrence, or I'd go Sam Ehlinger from Texas. But Taylor has a good shot from the Wisconsin, the former Doak Walker Award winner from last year. He's a heck of a running back too. He's got an outside shot as well.
Yeah, the only thing I see with this list is the running backs nowadays really don't get as much love as they should. Since the college is kind of expanding that spread offense and throwing the ball around. But if a running back were to win it, the guy you just mentioned, Jonathan Taylor from Wisconsin, does have the best shot because Wisconsin still kind of runs the ball
Right.
more
Yep.
than these other teams that we kind of mentioned up here. Just to add to your point here, Trevor Lawrence has never lost a football game in his whole life, dating back to when he was like 6 years old. They did a big piece on that before the national championship game last year. So if he goes undefeated this year again, I don't see any reason why a sophomore Trevor Lawrence should not win the Heisman Trophy. The only thing I could see is maybe if Jalen Hurt from Oklahoma just explodes, because Oklahoma seems to be Heisman Oklahoma seems to be Heisman U as of late. With Kyler for the Arizona Cardinals and Baker.
Kyler Murray.
And then
Baker
now for the Browns. So if they were to three-peat as quarterback, that would be something special. So I mean, they're obviously doing something right to and just a name like an Oklahoma quarterback kind of just like stands out because Oklahoma's been a staple in college football for so long. Like when you say college or NCAA football, you think of probably 5 teams here. You think of Nebraska, Florida State, Alabama, LSU, and then in Oklahoma. So definitely see.
No, and I didn't even mention Jalen Hurts. I mean, I don't think he's not the same talent as Baker and Kyler. I don't. I'm a hate OU fan, so so I hope they struggle. I don't think he'll do as good. But man, he's another one though, man. If Oklahoma wins the Big 12, and he's part of the reason why, he'll be right there, up for the Heisman. But we'll see. And then I think a name I mentioned earlier. I can't wait to see how Justin Herbert is as well. I mean, he's the quarterback of Oregon. I think he's a really good football player. He could be in that line for number 1 pick in the draft. So would Lawrence, quarterback out of Clemson, but he's only going to be a sophomore.
Right.
That's another one where they should, there should be a committee and they should petition Lawrence should be able to petition college football. There's very few of these guys and say, hey, I don't really need to come back for my junior year. I'm 6'6", 230 pounds, and I'll be just coming back for my junior year, maybe to get hurt. I need to enter the NFL draft. So, yeah.
Oh, so like I kind of just want to throw this out here. So I mean, he started as a true freshman this past season, and he's going into a sophomore. Well, he'd be like 19, 20 years old, maybe just depending on when his birthday falls. Would you think he does a Nick Bosa and sits out his junior year and just gets ready for the NFL draft?
That's possible. I'd have to know the man and his family. He's already a weird situation to me now because if he would have come out in this year's draft, he'd have been a top 10 pick probably.
He would have been the first quarterback, I think, off the draft.
Yeah, and the fact that he turned that down tells me his family's not destitute. So and I hope he's playing this year with a life insurance policy just in case
right.
He tears his Achilles, or that's so young to tear your Achilles, or gets a knee blown out, or and it's never the same, or something, or gets concussions. What if he gets like 3 concussions in a row?
Right.
I don't care how much money your parents make, you're coming out.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't matter to me. I mean, I'm not destitute. If my son was the number 1 pick, like, I mean, I don't care if I was, if I had $10 million in the bank. I mean, especially, you got to make that decision as a man. Like, you can always go back to college, and you have to start your career. And, I don't understand. Even if, let's just say I'm Herbert. Even if my parents were like, no, honey, we have $20 million in your trust fund. I mean, I'm still going to come out and make my own money, man. I just wouldn't go back to college. I wouldn't risk the injury.
This is generational changing.
I wouldn't risk the injury at all. And if I was already mentally and physically ready, I would have come. I don't get how he stays in school. Yeah. Especially if you're going to be a first round pick, that's guaranteed money. But listen, I hope the kid, he's going to graduate from college. I hope everything works out for him. I hope he doesn't get any concussions or blow out a knee. So I hope he's good. Actually, what was your question?
Well, like say he does well this year. Does he sit out the next season
Oh,
to get
yeah,
ready for the
yes.
NFL draft.
Okay, yeah, because I started going on a tangent about like I don't know why he's even there right now. Um, you're
He's
talking about
there right now because he has to be because he's a
okay, yeah,
true sophomore.
right. Okay, no,
Yeah,
we're talking. Okay, I'm sorry, we're talking Lawrence. We're talking
Trevor
Lawrence.
Lawrence. Yep.
I was comparing the a Bear situation. Okay, man, no, I think that I think he's competitive. I think the kid will probably play just like a Bear's playing. Um, plus the rules help quarterbacks a little better. You can't really touch them. This isn't, the 70s or 80s or 90s where pretty much I'm going to try to take out Lawrence's head,
You get
There's,
you get one jealous guy though saying, "Hey,
yeah,
this guy's a first round pick. He has a choice to come back, and I'm working my tail off."
yeah, yeah.
I mean, jealousy and the male's pride takes over, and one shot to the head, he
You
can
know what?
never be the same.
Actually, you're 100% right. That's actually going to be interesting to see what they do with that.
Mm-hmm.
If he shows that maturity in his sophomore year, see, he's an exception to the rule.
Yep.
Not too many people are ready after their freshman and sophomore years to go to the NFL. Man, if his family and him decide to sit out, that would be very interesting. I don't think that Dabo Sweeney, the way his mentality is. I mean, he's all for players, but I don't think he would look at Dabo Sweeney in the eye and say, "Hey, man, I'm not playing anymore. I'm done."
Yeah.
But that's going to be really interesting. That's a great question. We'll see what happens after this year. But that just goes to show you that they need a situation where, you can petition the NFL or petition NCAA or something where you can come out after your sophomore year if this guy's ready to go.
Or just make it just like what the NCAA basketball does, just like 1 year. If you feel like you're ready, you can enter the draft. I mean, but like you have to pass certain protocols, obviously.
Yes.
Me and you could talk days just like on this, because I'm a strong believer. I'm 18 years old. I can drink. I can vote. I can smoke. But yet, if I'm a college athlete, I can't make any cash. But yet, my 18-year-old my 18-year-old friend like over here is 50,000 feet up on or 50 feet up on a pole making $80,000 a year. It's just crazy to me. It baffles my mind.
Agree. I agree with you. The college football athletes, they're like Dan Lebitard says, they're unpaid mercenaries. I get it. They're laying their life on the line every week. But if I'm the NFL, I come back and I say, hey, I don't care. I'm my own entity. You want to drop out at 18 and go do something? Go play in the CFL. I don't want to mess up my product, and I don't want to evaluate a freshman.
Yeah,
I mean,
but if that freshman is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, he will explode your brand for 20 plus years into like.
Right, but there's not enough. There's not enough of them.
Right.
There's not enough of them to change the rule.
Yeah.
Can we right now name all the quarterbacks in NFL history that were ready to come after their freshman year? I can guarantee you, Tom Brady, Joe Montana. I don't care who you are, Roger Staubach. They would say, "Man, I wasn't ready. I would have got killed."
I can't think of any off the top of my
John
head.
Elway.
Yeah.
I mean, so if you want to make the rule, maybe lower it 1 year after your sophomore year.
Yeah, so 2 years removed from high school.
2 years.
Yeah.
That might make a little more sense. But I bet if you ask the greats, I bet Brett Favre will tell you I wasn't nowhere near ready to go to the NFL after my sophomore year at Southern Mississippi.
I'm not saying that these players are ready to go, but I'm saying make it an option. Make it so I have the opportunity at the age of 18 or like 19 years old to make life change and money. If I don't get drafted, awesome. I mean, like I go about my life. I do a CFL or an indoor, but you just I feel like you have to have an option. Like it's kind of like when you rent a car. I mean, I was 23 years old. I owned a house. I had a good job. I played professional football for 2 years prior to that. But yeah, I flew into LA. I could not rent a freaking car because I was 25 years old. Like I've been on my own for 6 years, and yet I can't rent a car. That's stupid.
And then also, and like I just want to avoid Ed Oliver situations.
Yeah.
Ed Oliver was ready to come out. These are very few. Ed Oliver was ready to come out and play in the NFL after his freshman year. He was definitely ready to come out and play in the NFL after his sophomore year. Then he basically had to hang around his junior season, and he got into the little tussle with the coach, Major Applewhite, and he sat out games, and it was a mess his junior year. He was ready to play NFL football.
Do you want to know how you fix this situation? Pay those college athletes. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, but you're not going to pay them enough where they'd forego Ed Oliver's $1 million man. I mean, no, but yeah, you're right though. They should pay him. Yeah, obviously. But like Ed Oliver, man, like he should have come out after his sophomore year. There's no reason at all that he should have stayed for his junior season. He's one of those rare exceptions.
Yeah, you are 100% right. But if they would just pay these athletes, like LSU, that they put $12 million into a locker room, they could have split $8 million of that like among the 100 kids that are on a team. Yeah. Would have been a little bit more easier situation. It would keep me, if after my freshman year I'm Trevor Lawrence, I'm ready for the NFL.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit out my sophomore year. I'm going to bring you a couple more $1 million because I'm going to win another national championship.
Right. And then like $8 million. How much did you say it was?
12. I think the Honey Badger donated like $12.3 million or something like that.
I think he just donated $1 million, but yeah. That's awesome still.
Yeah.
But let's just say it's $8 million. How about we make the facility $7 million and then divvy up $1 million to my 85 players?
Right. I mean, I'm happy with $10,000 to play, shit.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that's pretty cool stuff. You know what rule I cannot stand, and we'll quickly get off this. This is what's stupid. You ready for this one?
I'm ready.
You're a coach like Dabo Swinney. You make $8 million a year. If we show up in a town and there's Applebee's, right? Dabo Swinney can't fork out $2,000 to feed the kids, to feed his team.
Yep.
It'll be an NCAA violation. They'd have to forfeit the game.
I actually got in trouble with that for my high school kids. After the season, I took my linebackers out to go get some ice cream, and we got in trouble for that.
That makes no sense.
Yep.
Like there's probably at a Dabo Swinney's team, there's probably 60 of them that are hardship cases, man, that their parents can't travel to the games. They're destitute, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you know what I mean? But why can't he pay for like 60 of their meals? And there's like 25 of his kids that go, no sweat, coach, man. My parents make, I'm good. I got like $500 on me now. I can pay for my meal, coach.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? But there's about 60 of them. I'd say about 75% of them that can't. So why can't Dabo Swinney pay for their meal? That's dumb. I mean, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. You know what I mean? That just bothers me.
Yeah, you're 100% correct on that. So let's go ahead and shift gears 100%. We're jumping from players that are playing for free, or we should say for free in air quotes.
Right.
Moving on to the professional ranks here. And we talked to Patriots. We talked to Buffalo Bills. We talked to Miami Dolphins. And let's round out the worst division in football with quite possibly the worst team in NFL football, the New York Jets. They had a pretty eventful offseason. They got Le'Veon Bell. Okay, awesome. Who else do they have? Ty Montgomery and Sam Darnold. That's pretty much the only players I can name on the team that has professional experience. Do you agree with that?
No, I mean, I think the Jets are much improved. I think Miami's the worst team in that division.
Oh,
I think the Jets will be. Yeah, I think the Jets will be pretty good. I can't wait to see Quinnen Williams. He remains unsigned. Their first round draft pick out of Alabama. He's a pretty good offensive lineman. Defensive lineman. I think Sam Darnold's a big time talent now.
I think he's but he does not have any weapons around him besides Le'Veon Bell. And I think Le'Veon Bell is going to hinder his growth because they're going to rely on Le'Veon Bell so much to hand the ball and just to pass out of the backfield that we will not get to see the true Sam Darnold this season.
Yeah, I like Robbie Anderson as a receiver. Listen, Le'Veon Bell's a hell of a talent. I think Miami is more bereft of talent than the Jets, but now that doesn't mean that the Jets aren't going anywhere now. You know what I mean? So it's still the worst division in football. What did they go last year?
3-13, or no, 4-10.
4-12.
Yeah, 4-12.
4-12. Yeah, 4-12. Yeah, I mean they're pretty much gonna do the same thing. They might improve a game. I mean, but when you listen, at least they have some building block pieces there.
Yes.
So yeah, I
Sam
mean, so
Darnold is a solid piece they can build around. Yes.
so I think yeah, so is Rosen for Miami. But so I mean, that's what's gonna put butts in the seats because for these teams, even though they know they're not gonna be above 500, at least they've got their quarterbacks of the future in place. They hope.
Yeah. And they do have Le'Veon Bell that has
I
two
mean,
girlfriends in New York, or is it 3 now?
he said he left his girlfriends. He left his 2 women. This is funny. They asked him, "Can you imagine? Man, can you imagine being the GM?" And they say, "Le'Veon." He said, "Le'Veon, what happened?" He goes, "I don't know, man. When I left them, they were butt ass naked. I had to even get to practice. They were both naked, and he didn't even know them that well, but he had to get to practice. I've never had that problem."
If you guys missed our podcast, Le'Veon Bell was robbed by these 2 girlfriends
Right.
because he had to go to NFL practice. Like I believe it was like one of his first practices with the New York Jets as well. But let's go ahead. Go ahead.
Hey, yeah, you ever seen the movie Risky Business?
I have
It's
not.
probably was before. It's funny. No, it's Tom Cruise, and he left the prostitute at home while he went to school.
Okay.
Because he had to hurry up and get to school, right? And so he's like, man, he goes, look, I'll see you. I'll be back like at 4:00. And she's like, bye, Joel. That's his name, Joel. He comes back home, right? All his stuff's gone. You know what I mean? Like,
Man,
and his parents were out of town. So basically, Le'Veon Bell's dumb self just did a Tom Cruise when he was 18.
Right.
He left his house. Girls. He said he told the general manager, "I left them. They were naked. I don't know." And then I guess they took all his stuff.
That's just ridiculous.
Man.
But let's go ahead and just move past that a little bit. Keep it PG-13, I guess. Who really cares? Week 1, we have the New York Jets playing the Bills. We both have the Bills winning this game. So moving on to week 2, they're still at home taking on the Cleveland Browns. Who do you got winning this game?
Oh my God. I think Cleveland's the real deal this year. We'll go over that. I know I keep saying that. I don't even know what I have Cleveland as their record. But man, this is an absolute brutal schedule for the Jets in their first 7 weeks.
Yep.
I'm gonna go ahead, and I know this might sound crazy. My God, am I gonna do this?
Don't do it.
I'm gonna give them the win.
Oh,
Cleveland. Yeah, they'll be 1-1 after 2 weeks, and in front of it, they gotta throw the fans a bone here. Even though Cleveland's more talented, I think they get it done. Like as we talked about before, man, this is the NFL. Anything can happen. People, they listen. They have good coaches too. So I mean, we'll see what happens here.
So,
I'll give them the win versus Cleveland.
You had the Jets beating the Cleveland Browns week 2.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Let me go ahead and fix that. I thought you were going the other way. I have the Browns winning this game. I don't think the Jets are going to be very good this week. Coming off a kind of a sadding loss versus the Bills. Looking at week 3, luckily they got a bye in week 4. We both have them losing to the Patriots in week 3. But then they play Philly, Dallas, New England again, Jacksonville. Man, this is
brutal.
Yeah, this is tough. So week 5, Philadelphia Eagles.
I have them losing to the Eagles, Dallas, Philly, and Jacksonville 4 in a row.
Oh man, let me go highlight the Eagles, the Cowboys. You actually had them beating the Patriots in that week. What is that? Week 7.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Matchup?
Yeah. I'm sorry. You know what I was thinking? That's at home, right?
Yes.
Okay, they're winning at home. They're losing the road game. I thought that was the road game for New England. Yeah, so I've got them losing to the Eagles. Yeah, it's weird. They play the Patriots 2 times in a month.
Yeah, which I do not like when the NFL does that. There are several teams that play the same team twice in a 3-week span, or like even a 4-week span. I mean,
that's kind of weird.
Yeah, and especially for the Jets that you think they're going to be much improved, they have an opportunity. If this Patriots game was pushed back more in the year, this might be must see TV if they're both 7 and 8 going into week 17. But just to confirm here, you got Buffalo winning week 1, had them losing to Cleveland, losing at the Patriots. They go into bye week, a very early bye week, week 4, and then losing at Eagles, losing to the Cowboys, and then what is that? That is week 7, beating the Patriots, and then going to Jacksonville, losing Jacksonville, and we both
Right.
have them losing to Miami as well, getting us up to week 11. It looks like versus the New York Football Giants.
They're beating the Giants. The Giants are absolutely horrific.
Yeah.
The Giants are right there with Miami. Is one of the worst teams in football. I have the Jets winning the Battle of New York there, and beating the Giants there.
Yeah, I have them beating the Giants as well after a 1-7 start on my side, 1-6 or 2-6 start on like your side. They are bound to sneak out a win there. That one I was going back and forth because I mean like the only reason why I'm giving this game is because they are at home. So moving on to the next week, they're traveling to Washington Redskins, a pretty depleted Washington Redskins team.
Yeah. Man, it'll either be Haskins or Keenum starting it, like we talked about last week. I don't think Alex Smith will be ready to go. I misspoke on that a couple of days ago. Yeah, he's still got pins in his legs, so that I just don't see him playing this year. Probably not. If he doesn't play, it won't be till late December. I mean, he could be ready this time, but it'll probably be Dwayne Haskins or Case Keenum. I have the Redskins winning this game at home.
Okay, I actually had them losing just because of that fact. They will have a rookie quarterback going into starting the month of November, and
Right.
and this is where the Jets kind of start getting a little bit of traction. They played all these playoff teams the first 8 or 9 weeks of the season. Now it's starting to get a little bit easier. They're going to start rolling a little bit more, but I have them losing to Washington Redskins that week. Next week they're back home at Oakland. Taking on the Raiders. Who do you got?
Is it at Oakland or is it in New York?
It is in New York.
Okay, I'll take the Jets then. That would sway me. I think Oakland's going to be much improved as well, but I'll take the Jets here at home.
Okay, I'm going opposite you. I have them losing to the Oakland because I think Oakland might be battling for a final AFC playoff spot come to this
That's
point.
possible. Yeah.
Last year I was really high on the Raiders and they disappointed me by being 3-13, and they got to bounce back. I mean, they're paying their coach $100 million. They got to be better than that. Next week they're traveling to Cincinnati. Who do you got in that one?
I'll take the Bengals in that one. I don't think the Bengals will be that good this year either, but the Bengals will get this victory here.
Yeah, I have the Bengals winning that one as well. Andy Dalton is just a little bit more experienced than Sam Darnold, and they got a wide receiver as AJ Green. I think he'll just carry that team. Next week you have Miami at home. Or sorry, we actually have them both winning that Miami game.
Jets will win that game. Yeah.
So then the next week we have them going to Baltimore.
Baltimore will win that game.
I have them beating Baltimore as well. Even though I'm not high on Lamar Jackson, I just think the Baltimore Ravens as a team is better than the Jets. Then they're back at home, take on the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Man, this is going to be one of those games because I hate the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mm-hmm. So this is going to be one of those games where I'm just rooting like hell for the Jets. Their season's already done. What do they have? What do I have them at 5 wins already? Or
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep.
Yeah, this is one of those where I'm going to be praying by some miracle the Jets win this game. You know what? I'll take the Jets, man.
Okay. So you got them.
I'll take the Jets.
You got them going 6-10 because you already have them losing to Buffalo last week.
So lose that. So that's 6-10. That is what is that? That's an improvement of 2 games.
Right.
I knew they'd improve. Yeah.
I actually have them going worse. So this Pittsburgh game to me is a little. It's a little toss up. I haven't fully looked at the Pittsburgh Steelers schedule yet, but they should have their division locked up by this point. So it depends on if they're playing everybody or if they're starting to rest. But I do have the Steelers winning this game because people are speaking highly of the Browns. I think it's going to come down to the last 3 or 4 weeks. So the Steelers are going to be playing for the division at that point in time. So I have the Jets going 3-13, down a game from last year, but they'll be improved because of Le'Veon Bell. I hope the addition of Le'Veon Bell does not hinder the growth of Sam Darnold.
Yeah, no, I don't think it will either. I think he's going to enhance the growth because you got to. Le'Veon Bell is a great talent. he's a dual threat. I mean, you're talking about he's almost like a receiver playing running back.
Right.
I mean, so no, he's going to help Sam Darnold out tremendously. I think that was a great signing by the New York Jets. It's just it was just a money grab too by Le'Veon Bell. I mean, he just wanted to get paid. He wasn't looking to win or anything like that, because otherwise he wouldn't have signed with the Jets. But hey, if Le'Veon Bell's bought into Adam Gase's system and everything, I think it's a big. If I'm Sam Darnold, I'm very happy because I've got a warrior behind me that's gonna tote the rock 20 times, and I'm going to throw it to him. I'm going to target him 10 times, and I'll probably, I'll throw it to him 6 times. So you're talking about Le'Veon Bell's going to get about 25 touches a game. And I can't wait he looked in great shape. Sometimes these players, they sit out the year and you go, oh my God, he looks like he sat out the year. But Le'Veon Bell did not look like that. And it's going to be interesting to see how they better take it easy with him in training camp a little bit. I'll be honest, because if he goes back and pushes too hard, he could get an injury.
Yep.
People don't realize, and most people do, but some people don't realize, NFL game shape is different, man. You sit out a year, and that is I was looking at Jaron Reed suspended 6 games. Wow. Yeah, you sit out a year, and you sit out a game in the NFL, and it's tough. Des Bryant sat out almost a whole year, and then he comes back and he signs with New Orleans and he blows out his Achilles because he hasn't been working out. And then he went from not working out at all to pushing himself too hard. So, I think they should take it easy on Le'Veon Bell if they want him around the whole year, because he didn't play last year. So that's a big deal there. And he will not hinder the growth of Sam Darnold. He's going to enhance it. So yeah, I got them improving a couple of games. It's going to be fun to see.
Yeah, just to add to your point there, even at the high school level where I coach, I mean, you see kids cramping all the time in that first game, not because it's hot, it's because it's you are not in game shape, because you're going 100, right. You're going at 110% every play, not 85% or even so definitely understand what you're talking about there. But just to kind of recap of the games that we picked so far, you had Buffalo going 8-8 on the season. You had Miami going 5-11, Patriots going 9-7, and the Jets going 6-10. You had the Patriots winning that division as a 9-7 record here. Just to reiterate mine, I had Buffalo going 5-11, Miami going 3-13, New England going 11-5, and then the Jets going 3-13. 3-13 as well. So just to kind of hit home that this is the worst division in football with 3-13 records.
Yeah, this is probably the worst division in football. I mean, I have the Patriots going 9-7. And they're winning the division at 9-7. The Patriots, I think, take a step back this year. No Gronk. I mean, Brady's going to be 42 years old. That's pretty amazing. I mean, when does his thing run? When does his father time catch up with him?
Right.
Listen, and it's just to spin on the Jets. I think Miami's the worst team in the division. And look, Miami and the Jets are neck and neck there with the worst team in the division. I just think the Jets have a little more talent. More like Leonard Williams is a Pro Bowl player. I mean, the Jets signed C.J. Mosley from the Ravens in free agency. Remember, the top-notch linebacker out of Alabama, former first-round pick. I mean, so they had, and then Quinnen Williams, their number 1 overall pick. I can't wait to see how he works with Leonard Williams. Leonard Williams won't be getting so many double teams. I can't. So they're going to struggle obviously this year, the New York Jets. But I just think there's a little bit more talent to work with there than the Dolphins. So I have them a couple of games better. But listen, make no mistake about it. This is one of the worst divisions in football, if not the worst. We'll go through all the divisions and we'll figure out who the worst is. And I think Buffalo's the second best team in the division. So we'll see. But you still had the Patriots going 11-5, their same record even without Gronk.
Right.
I guess you don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl or anything, or you haven't going to want to make our Super Bowl picks, but they'll go 11-5 just because they play in a crappy division.
Yeah, they have a pretty easy schedule. If you look at, yes, they kind of start off the season rough with Pittsburgh, but then look who they got. They got Miami, they got the Jets, they got Buffalo, at Washington, the Giants, the Jets, the Browns, the Ravens, Philly, the Cowboys, I
Yeah.
mean, they hit that tough little stretch.
Yeah, they have a tough stretch.
But the first 9 games, they could easily go 9-0.
Yeah.
With their toughest game being the Browns and the Steelers.
Listen, the NFL is an 8-8 league,
Yep.
so I hate using the term easy schedule. But if you were ever going to apply that term, it would apply to the Patriots schedule.
How can the Super Bowl champions have such an easy schedule? Like, that's what I want to know. I mean, like, we could be totally wrong. The Jets and the Dolphins and the Bengals could all be 10-6, and then we look at the schedule now, like, man, they got a pretty tough schedule. They got the Cowboys, the Eagles, the 10-6 Bengals, the 10-6 Jets, the 10-6 Dolphins. You know, I mean, they have 12 of their 16 games with teams above 600 record, but I don't see that happening.
When I was in the media a long time ago, I'm still in the media a little bit, but when I was totally acclimated in the media, I was like part of it for about 4 years there in the late 90s and early 2000s. I used to talk to Coach Joe Avezzano, the Dallas Cowboys special teams coach, and rest in peace. He passed away a few years ago, but Coach Joe was a hell of a coach. And he used to tell me, he said, Marcus, sometimes, you know, going over the schedule is kind of just for fans.
Yeah.
At the end, he said the NFL level, they don't do it except for weather purposes. He says they don't look at it. They don't ever look at it going, well, we'll lose that one. We could win that one. They go into it thinking they're going to win every game. They're going to go 16-0. They're not looking at it like, oh, we got to go to Pittsburgh in November. That's probably a loss. You know what I mean? Like, they never – and that's kind of common sense. They never look at the schedule like that. They look at it for weather to see, you know, oh, man, we were traveling to Buffalo in December this year. You know, they're looking at they look at that stuff a lot more than they do any kind of wins or losses.
Which makes sense.
And he says, you know why? He says a lot of times in the NFL, the ones you think, oh, that's an easy one, that might be your toughest one. And the ones you think, oh, man, that might be a hard game. We end up beating them 30-10. So he says, so it's crazy to look at like the players and coaches. He's speaking basically from the coaching staff. They never really look at it like that. Because sometimes, like you just mentioned, and you're the one that you made a good point. You made me think of it. Sometimes the ones you think might be easy might be the hardest game of the year. So we just don't know till we get into this thing. It's a fluid situation, this NFL. So we'll wait till we get into these games and we'll see who's really hard and what's not. But that's basically more for the fans, wins and losses. The players go into it thinking, I'm trying to go 16-0. Yeah. I'm not trying to go 10-6.
As a player, you walk into like, oh, we're going to lose to the Patriots, we're going to lose to the Chiefs. Like, you've already lost. So
I think when I was in the media, I think they asked Michael Irvin one time. I think it was like 96 or 97, and it was Dallas's worst year of the 90s. And they asked him, "Hey, Mike, you think you can go 10-6 as y'all lost?" But he's like 10-6. Can you picture Michael Irvin? Yeah. He's like 10-6, man. I'm trying to win week 1. We're trying to win every game. Knock all that stuff off about 10-6. He's like, man, get away from me from that.
Right.
And then they ended up having their worst year. 97 was the worst year of the 90s run. And then they bounced back in 98 and won the division back-to-back years. But 97 was their worst year because they had trouble. They lost some people and it just wasn't the same. But yeah, Michael Irvin got upset at that. You know, you can't ask these players, hey, Mike, what about 10-6?
Right.
You know, he'll start cussing you out.
It makes and it makes 100% sense. So we're going to end the show right there to two guys, and join us tomorrow as we going to start to explore the most top heavy and the most bottom heavy the division out there. The NFC East. They got the Cowboys, the Eagles, the Giants, and the Redskins. So I think you can kind of put of who is the top heavy and who is the bottom heavy. But we got to start with America's team first. The Dallas Cowboys are tomorrow's guys. So join us tomorrow, same time, same location. We break down the 2019 Dallas Cowboys schedule. We out.